was born in Knoxville, Tennessee in 1969. My dad and his side of the family are from there, and after that we moved to Louisiana, is where my mom and her side is from. And I moved there at about 5 years old, and we stayed in Louisiana until I was about 13. We moved to Boston, the Boston area. That's where I spent about 25 years of my life. And I remember my dad, he left my mom for our next door neighbor. And that's when I truly remember not caring about anything. Just seeing my dad's car there a lot and knowing that he was next door and that he left my mom for another woman and her children and he left us, you know, it left me in a bad way. I loved him a lot. My dad's a senior and I'm a junior. So I got in my head at a young age that the only way I can get back at my dad is to ruin his name. And so everything I did from that point on, it was to ruin his name because I knew he was named after me. My dad was a Vietnam vet, very well respected in the church. It started off as trying to hurt him, but what it ended up doing is ended up hurting myself. I believed that having children would fill that void that I had. I had a daughter in high school, but me and her mom, we didn't have a good relationship. She wasn't in my life. I was in and out of jail most of the time, and we didn't have a relationship at all. But I met my son and daughter's mother, and we had a 15-year relationship, and I had my son who is in his early 20s now, and I have a teenage daughter. But it didn't fix that void, you know. I had a hole in my heart, and I realize that now, and I believe that we all do. I believe that we're born with it, you know. They say that we're born into sin, and that Jesus Christ, you know, he went to the cross for those sins. And I truly believe if without a relationship with him, there is nothing that can fill that void. I moved from Boston back here, geological care. Fell into the same crowd, started working offshore, got a good job, good money, but I didn't do the right thing, you know. I ended up in jail for possession, you know, and stayed there for 24 months. I picked up a Bible while I was in there, and I think that's when I truly gave my life over to Jesus Christ while I was there, and I found peace, you know. My dad was a big influence on that. You know, I realized that for many years that he tried to mend the relationship, but I continued to push him away. It was through him that I found Jesus because he was there with me through the whole thing. We wrote constantly. The letters never stopped coming, and he was a big influence on me and my decision to turn my life and will over to Jesus. You know, God uses who he wants, and he used my dad, someone that had caused me so much pain, was actually someone that was there for my healing. I knew I needed Jesus in my life. I knew I had to get away and out of the situation I was in. And I knew about the New Orleans Hope. I did the research before I even got out of jail. I knew, you know. And I talked to Dave Stepp and I said, man, I'm ready to come now. I was truly able to take the time I needed to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ here. And I continue to in the master's program. The staff and everyone here, they work towards your relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what you're here for. You're not here for anything else. Not here for the job. You're not here for the financial difficulties. You're here for a relationship with Jesus. And what you realize is that through that, you get restoration of everything. What I realize now is that a lot of the things in the world that was important to me, they're just not important anymore. I've had it, and it didn't fill the void. But with Jesus Christ alone, it fills all of it. It's like I don't need anything else.